Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us see and learn about most important cyber attack which was faced by many companies. This is DDoS attack, and by using which service we can able to overcome this attack. So what is the full form of this DDoS, sir? DDoS stands for distributed denial of service. What is that? Distributed denial of service. Okay. What is DDoS attack? DDoS attack mainly focus on making the service, making the available service to unavailable. How this DDoS attack can make the available service to unavailable, sir? By consuming the available service network bandwidth or capacity. By simply, so whatever the service providing network and bandwidth and capacity, network bandwidth and capacity, by consuming all those things, users cannot able to access the service outside of the bandwidth, network bandwidth and capacity, right? Yes. So attackers try to compromise those two things, that is network bandwidth and capacity of our service. So by using that, they can able to compromise our services by consuming network bandwidth and capacity. Okay. So who are the persons they are doing this? Cyber attackers. Cyber attackers basically uses this attack to make available services to unavailable by consuming the available service network and bandwidth, etc. So how can cyber attackers achieve this? They can achieve this by consuming the available service network and bandwidth, service network bandwidth and capacity. So how can they consume network bandwidth and capacity? For doing this, cyber attackers uses either a single server or distributed servers. Distributed servers with bots. On each server, they may install one or more bots to send request to the service continuously every second, and uses the whole service network bandwidth and capacity. So, so in this way, servers, in this way, the bots which are present on these servers will send the requests continuously and occupy or consume whatever the bandwidth, network bandwidth and capacity which was provided by the company website services. In this way, by consuming that bandwidth and capacity, users cannot able to request again to the service. So in this way, they make the service, company's website service, to be unavailable by using DDoS attack. So what is the full form? I have even marked important points as darken way. You can see by using DDoS attack, hackers can able to make the service unavailable. DDoS stands for distributed denial of service, and it focuses on making that service unavailable by consuming available service network bandwidth or capacity, etc. So how can they achieve, how cyber attackers can achieve is by using either a single server or distributed servers with bots to send the request continuously to the service every second, and they'll consume the whole bandwidth or capacity. So this is DDoS attack. Basically, our network communication happens mostly either by using OSI model or TCP model. Major companies follow OSI model because it's more efficient than TCP model. For higher rate of connectivity, for a higher rate of network communication, OSI model is preferred. So now let's see these are the layers present in OSI model. If DDoS attack happens, then what are the chances which layers will be affected in this OSI model, sir? In this OSI model, mainly three layers will be affected. So totally seven layers are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Among these seven, only three layers are affected. What are those three, sir? Those three are third layer, that is network layer, fourth layer, transport layer, and seventh layer, that is application layer. These three layers will be attacked by hackers by using the DDoS attack. So in this third layer, what are the attacks which are possible? What are the DDoS attacks which are possible, sir? In network layer level, we have possible DDoS attacks are network bandwidth or capacity consumption or overloading. So these are the attacks which are possible at third layer, that is network layer. Now let us see with fourth layer, that is on transport layer. On transport layer, what are the attacks which are possible, sir? On transport layer, sink floods attack and reflection floods attack. So those two types of attacks which are possible on transport layer. Those two types of DDoS attacks which are possible on transport. At this seventh layer, that is application layer, what are the DDoS attacks which are possible, sir? In this layer, basically, your application access happens by using HTTP protocol. So attackers focus on HTTP floods. That is, your website's HTTP, they'll try to access your website with HTTP or HTTPS requests. So in that way, they can able to provide a flood of attacks, flood of requests, so that they can able to consume all the service bandwidth. So like that. So by using this HTTP floods in general, we call HTTPS or HTTP requests floods. At this layer, so the attack we call it as HTTP floods. So this is the DDoS attack which are possible at application layer. So these are the three types of attacks. These are the three layers that are majorly affected by using DDoS attacks. You can see I have even marked the important points darkly. That is DDoS attacks happens on three layers of OSI. In network layer, we have network bandwidth or capacity consumption or overloading happens. In transport layer, sink flood attacks and reflection flood attacks will happen. And in application layer, HTTP flood attacks will happen. So these are the three layers which are affected, and these are the attacks, DDoS attacks, which are affected on these three layers by using the cyber attackers. Let's say I have a company. Now I want to save my servers. I want to save my servers providing service from this DDoS attack. How can I overcome this issue? How? Is there any service in AWS available for me where it can able to overcome these issues? Yes, there is a service. So what is the service name? AWS Shield. What is the service name? AWS Shield. So it acts like a shield and protect your company service available from these DDoS attacks. It can able to overcome all the DDoS attacks which you are facing and make your service available. What is that? Make your service available. You can see these three layers affected, right? By using the DDoS attack. So in order to overcome that DDoS attacks, we use this AWS Shield service where it can able to overcome all these attacks and can provide your service available to the users, end users, and in this way, your servers will be protected. So in order to overcome from these DDoS attacks, AWS Shield provides you two options. What are those two options, sir? AWS Shield Standard and AWS Shield Advanced. You can see I provided them in a simple comparison manner by specifying the aspects. So let's see the major difference between these two, AWS Shield Standard and Shield Advanced. AWS Shield Standard provides you protection for OSI layers, that is layer 3, that is network layer, and layer 4. Only for two layers it provides you protection. So what is the leftover layer that is unprotected here? That is application layer. So by using AWS Shield Standard, what is the layer that is unprotected? Application layer. We cannot able to protect that. So AWS Shield Standard does not provide protection for layer 7, that is application layer. That is, in particular, we talk about DDoS attacks, HTTP flood attacks. For those flood attacks, this standard, Shield Standard does not provide us protection. Okay. If we consider the AWS services, that this AWS Shield Standard can protect, or this Shield Standard can protect AWS services, that is Route 53 and CloudFront and AWS Global Accelerator. We have seen protection over HTTP floods that is not provided by AWS Shield Standard, whereas I'll discuss about this later, advanced. So this AWS Shield Standard protect AWS services, that is Route 53, Cloud Front, AWS Global Accelerator. Now let us see about AWS Shield Advanced. This AWS Shield Advanced will provide you protection for all three layers, all three OSI layers which are affected by DDoS attacks. That is, AWS Shield Advanced can able to protect layer 3, that is network layer, and layer 4, that is transport layer, and layer 7, that is application layer of OSI model from DDoS attacks. If we consider, so can I say this even protecting our layer 7, that is application layer? Yes. So it is protecting from HTTP floods? Yes. If you want protection to HTTP floods, then you need to choose this AWS Shield Advanced. So if we consider the protected AWS services, that is, if we consider that this AWS Shield Standard can protect Route 53 and hosted zones, Route 53 hosted zones, and cloud front distributions, and AWS Global Accelerator. And so in addition to these, it also protects EC2, elastic IP addresses and elastic load balancers as well. So it will provides you additional protection over standard. Advanced provides you additional protection over standard. So now let's consider the cost, because it's the most important one and company will deal about it only whenever comes to increments to you. So let's compare with cost. So what about this AWS Shield standard? This AWS Shield standard is free of cost. You can see it's a free of cost. Whereas if you see about AWS Shield Advanced, it costs you $3,000 per month, and minimum commitment is required. How much commitment? Minimum 12 months subscription commitment is required. So in order to get this, you need to subscribe to AWS Shield. Don't worry, I'll show you how to subscribe as well. So this is free AWS Shield standard, whereas AWS Shield Advanced is chargeable. That is, you will need to pay $3,000 per month for minimum of 12 month subscription commitment. Right? Yeah. So one more advanced feature that AWS Shield Advanced has is integration with WAF, AWS WAF. Web access firewalls. That is, this web integration with this AWS WAF ACLs and rules that you are using. So this additional feature, this AWS Shield Advanced has compared to this AWS Shield standard is this AWS Shield Advanced can have ability to integrate with any AWS WAF, web ACLs, and rules that you are using. So you can see I have written important points as well here marked in darkly. And for your easy understanding, even I provided a comparison table. So whatever you prefer, that you can take a picture of it so that you can able to recap it easily. Now let's have a quick tour on this AWS Shield in AWS directly from AWS Management Console. Let's have a quick tour on that. So before coming to this, first we need to get this right. So for that, we need to search Shield. We need to search Shield. So if you search Shield, you can see WAF and Shield. So you just click on it so that you enter into the dashboard. So here in this dashboard, you can see multiple services are integrated here. So actually it is loading. Wait a minute. You can see it is loaded successfully. In this WAF and Shield, we have multiple options. Under this, we also have AWS Shield. So let's just focus on AWS Shield. Under the AWS Shield, you can able to see the global threats dashboard as well. You can see globally threat dashboard across all AWS customers. So whoever using AWS account, whatever threats they are facing, that you can able to see from here. In these regions, they are facing mostly the attacks, right? Yes. So you can even see the graph related to that. You can even see much more details, that is the last 2 weeks or last 2 week summary, or else last 3 days or last day summary. If you want, you can able to see that as well from this global threat dashboard. And so let's see how to subscribe. So let's say I want advanced shield protection. For that, I have already told you we need subscription, right? Yes. So for that, let's see how to do it. For that, under AWS Shield, you have an option called Getting Started. So just click on it so that you enter into the dashboard. You can see this is how the dashboard will be, and monthly charge also available here. Monthly will be charged $3,000. So here also they are providing the dashboard, generalized dashboard, and account activity detected. So let's subscribe for this. So I'm just clicking on that. So you can see I have just clicked on it. So it enters into subscribe to Shield Advanced. So it was asking me some acknowledgement service terms. You can see the pricing per month is $3,000. So this much amount will be charged on you if you enable it. And data transfer out usage fees for all protected resources. So what are the resources that you are protected for all those resources, whatever the data transfer out for outside usage, you will be charged. And I have already told you, you need a commitment of 12 months subscription. And auto renewal, if you want, you can able to enable it. So I think it's mandatory. If you enable it, then only it will be coming to this. So I can opt out for renewal 30 days prior to renewal that it. After you subscribe the service, you unsubscribe only by calling to support. So from dashboard or programmatically, you cannot able to unsubscribe this. You can able to unsubscribe only after calling to the support, AWS support. So this in this way, you can able to unsubscribe it. Currently, I'm not subscribing it because it charges me. So I'm just cancel that. You can see under overview, this field you can come. So it will show you the subscription status. Currently, I'm incomplete. That is, I have not subscribed to it. And after subscribing, you can able to add the resources. I have told you the resources, right? You can add those resources in order to protect your account. And you can see the SRT, that is Shield Response Team. So in my account level, so I'd like to see or I'd like to analyze the data. So total events happened is 0 till now. There is nothing event which was happened to my account till now. Even I haven't created any resources. So that's why I think no attack happened to my account. You can see I have already discussed about these services. Currently, since I'm not having any services, it does not protect any service. If you have any services, it will show you the protected services under this list. And SRT team, this is to help you migrate DDoS attacks. Authorize the SRT to access your account. Okay, if any DDoS attacks still happen on your account, then this SRT team will support you to overcome that. And proactive engagement and contacts, that also you can see here. When you enable it, then SRT team will contact you if Route 53 health checks associated with your protected resource are unhealthy during detected event. They will take care of it. SRT team will take care of it. So this is the dashboard, and these are the options about Shield. So this is getting started and overview. And protected resources, you have separate option. You can see here as well, and protected groups as well. You have an option. You can see events. What are happened currently? No events happened in my account, so it was showing nothing. Global threats also you can see. So these are the options and dashboard related things. And how to enable your subscription for advanced AWS Shield Advanced. This is all about AWS Shield. In this video you have a, I think you got some knowledge regarding, or knowledge recap regarding DDoS attacks. And so what are the layers affected when DDoS attacks happened by using hackers or cyber attackers, and how to protect which service, that is AWS Shield. And in AWS Shield also you have two options, that is Shield Standard and Advanced. Among these two, Shield Standard is by default enabled. It will be free of cost. It will protect a layer 3 and layer 4, and it won't protect you from HTTP flood attacks. Whereas if you want that protection as well, then you need to choose this Shield Advanced, so that it can able to protect some more AWS services, but it will charge you $3,000 per month. Since charge will be incurred on your AWS account, you need to take care of it while subscribing to that. Even after subscription, you have no option to desubscribe it, that is unsubscribe it. You need to contact to AWS support, so that they only will unsubscribe it. So this is a brief knowledge, or the knowledge and hands-on with AWS Shield. I hope this video is understanding to you. I think this video is contentful to you. If you feel this video is contentful and you have learned something, or you have something knowledge recap on this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye guys.